So the first thing we actually are starting with is illustrations from Chris. A lot of these characters, we have a full body drawn version of those characters, and that's kind of what we're using as the starting point for it. One of the things that we run into is that the difference between like an illustration versus like a game sprite or an animation, you're trying to accomplish different things, right? So in an illustration, you're trying to show the texture and the quality of the forms and all of that kind of stuff. With an animation or with an animated asset, especially a game asset, the primary consideration is like clarity of read, right? So if I'm looking at a bunch of these guys jumping around a screen, I want to be able to delineate what I'm looking at. And that means actually eliminating some of that detail, or rather curating which parts of the textures and which parts of the indications that Chris has made are important to the style and to the read of the character. So yeah, we start with the illustration from Chris. We generally break that down with our animation partner, and they give back to us character turnarounds, which are super standard in animation. Basically, you're seeing the character from a couple different angles. And we go through kind of a back and forth where we're simplifying that character or those traits down. After that, we tend to go towards rough animation. So we have an animation list. We know the animations that are going to be in the game. And of course, every character is going to need to do that. So we have those kind of broken into rigs for male, female, mutant, for example. And we're basically going in and looking at the rough animation for like, okay, we have the character design. What does it look like when they kick? Or what does it look like when they jump? What does it look like when they fall down or die, right? So we're getting those kind of rough sketch animations from that. And then from there, we go into the actual build phase, which is where we're kind of putting everything together. We're taking the simplified sprites and assets and applying those to the feeling and motion of the rough animation, which is a hand-drawn animation. And then on the other side, we get an object that we can actually pull into our game engine and play. Of the animation list that we have, which is kind of like a master palette of animations that we're working from to build the different actions within the game, we have a sizable chunk of that that's actually been set aside for trait-specific animations or trait-specific skills. And that's part of what we're trying to do to make sure that the pip that you choose is an actual consideration in the strategy of the game. As it is right now, we are in full-on production mode with our awesome animation partner, who we are so excited to tell you about when we are able to. In the meantime, we're getting tons of art in every day. We're kind of greenlighting the stuff that is matching. There's some things that we're bouncing back for revision and just fine-tuning to make sure that everything is as good as it can possibly be. And we are full steam ahead for our release, which we're super stoked for.